Harem Scarem legend Harry Hess, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
It's great to have you. Now, look, it's been 2 years since we last spoke, and the last time we spoke, you had just released the latest First Signal record. And in amongst all my Harem Scarem fanboying in that interview, you said there was nothing in the pipeline for you and Pete with this band. But here we are. It's February 2025, and we've a new single out, Reliving History. My question is, why now?
Well, you know what? To be honest, we've been having discussions with record labels, or just even us doing things on our own with regards to writing, putting out stuff, and just life's been really busy. Been off doing other projects, working with other bands for both Pete and myself, and we got a call from Mario at Frontiers Records, and he was like, "All right, guys, let's do this." So he really focused us and nailed us down. And to be honest, without a deadline, we just keep kicking this can down the road, right? So it was great that we came to an agreement, and we kind of said, "All right, we're actually going to do this." And then Pete and I forced each other to get back in a room, or start working on ideas. And we had some ideas kicking around, some of them that are like 4 or 5 years old, that we started working on when we originally said, "Hey, it's time to do another record after Change the World." And so just instinctively we just started kicking around ideas. But like I said, just kind of life got in the way, and other projects took center stage. So when we had this refocusing back in June or July, that's when we started working on songs, and then probably started recording them October, November, December, finished the record just maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and then had the new single come out. But that's just a teaser, what everyone's hearing. Those aren't the singles. And so I don't want to say, it's just a cross section of what's on the record. So
Right.
To me, that's kind of like Harem Scarem polite. Like, we're not going to scare anybody. We're going to let everybody know we got a new record out. We're not going to excite everybody too much on this. But at the end of the day, the tracks that are exciting to me are yet to come. So, not to play down that one. I like it, but it's not my first choice as this is what this record's all about. There's some good stuff on this.
Okay, because I actually love it. I was in London this week for work, and I was sitting on the plane just wrecking the head of the person next to me. I had reliving history in my ear, and I've just been listening to it kind of back to back as I was flying over and back. But look, once again, you mentioned there you're working with Frontiers, that's a home for some amazing music. You've got FM, and Jim Peterick is on there, and Nitrate, and Robbie LeBlanc. So some great stuff over Frontiers. But on your last release, for songs like Aftershock, etc., we got a cool music video. And I was going to ask you why we only got a lyric video for Reliving History. How come? But I think you're kind of answering that anyway, or the reason we don't have a full video for Reliving History.
Well, and just to give everybody a little perspective on it, or a bit of a backstory, is that we're going out and we're going to start playing mid to late April. And when we signed on to do this record, it was also in conjunction with the Frontiers Festival that's happening. I think we're on April 25th or 26th, one of those dates on that weekend. So we knew that when we were making this record that we were going to have it out for the end of April. So we spent about a month longer than we wanted to deliver it, just because we were being a little bit crazy over mixes and little niggly things, as musicians do. So we kind of got pride out of our hands at the end, as opposed to us being, okay, now we're done, because we'll just keep working on it until we pass out. So the lyric video, I think, came out to let everybody know that we've done a new record, right? Because the proper videos aren't done yet, and they're in production as we speak. But I think if we would have waited too long to announce the release of the record, it just would have started getting a too short of a runway for them to do everything that they want to do. So like I said, April 25th is the release of the album. It's called Chasing Euphoria. Chasing Euphoria will be the first single that comes out, and this was just kind of a teaser. Hey, here's some music, here's something that's on the record. But Chasing Euphoria and another song called Better the Devil You Know, those are the two proper singles that'll be coming out in the next week, 2, 3, 4 weeks, something like that. Again, it's in the hands of the video editor. So that's my hope, that we'll have something by the end of Feb, beginning of March at the latest.
Oh, I get you, because I was going to ask you a little bit about the album in a little while, but this is actually even more exciting as a fan of Harem Scarem, of which I am. I said to you last time, you do tons of interviews. I don't know if you remember, but I said to you last time, you know, I'm a huge fan. There's a lot of fans of Harem Scarem around. So this is even more exciting than I even thought it was going to be, that there's stuff was coming quite thick and fast, and this is just a bit of a teaser. Even having said that, I'm going to ask you this question anyway about this song, because I kind of had this question in my mind over, you know, I thought this was going to be the lead single or whatever. So I did want to ask you, you know, sonically the song opens up. It's just got Pete's signature sound on it. You know, he's one of the best in the world, in my opinion. You know, Pete's just such an incredible guitarist. Look, you've said a ton of times before that Mood Swings, you know, after the Mood Swings record, you toyed with other musical directions for the band. We know that, you know, the Voice, Reason record, the Rubber stuff. Then you reverted back with Overload and Human Nature and Hope. And at one point you said, I think you said to me last time, and I've seen you say in other interviews as well before, that you've kind of felt you were remaking the same music with nothing necessarily left for the band to say. But then you started to kind of come to terms a little bit with what fans like me and other Harem Scarem fans and fans of this music kind of loved about this band. And I don't know, you knocked it out of the park with some incredible contemporary Harem Scarem music, like 13 and United, which I have here in my record collection, Change the World, which I absolutely loved. My question is a title like Reliving History a meta take from you guys on what this band is? In a good way, is it both for you and the fans? We're reliving history, but in a good way. I don't know, or is it that deep?
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. And I mean, even themes and song titles and stuff like, you know, this is our 16th studio record. So even if you're looking at 10, 11 songs per record, plus bonus tracks, plus anything else, we're probably talking, you know, close to 200 songs that we've written. Some of them ended up on records because, again, there's the 16 studio albums and then there's other records with other things on it. So let's call it 200 songs. So, you know, if you're writing and recording songs for close to 40 years, how on earth do you not repeat yourself? Because everybody has a style, everybody has a direction. And let's be honest, a Harem Scarem fan likes Harem Scarem to do what they expect of Harem Scarem and what they like about us. For us to go do something, and that's what we didn't really take into account when we were doing Rubber records. It's not like that we weren't aware that we were doing something musically very, very different from what our fan base wanted and liked. But at that point, when you still think I've got 20 years ahead of me, 30 years ahead of me of making records, I cannot just keep writing the same song over and over again and making the same record. What are we going to do? Well, first and foremost, we always wanted to entertain ourselves. And then if someone wanted to come along for the ride, then that was our mindset. And now, to be honest, it's flipped a little bit where we're like, I want to make a record that our fans like. And I'm just being honest at this point. Like, so how do we do that without repeating ourselves over and over again? And look, we read some of the comments and we're like, yeah, same old, same old. And we're like, yeah, that's exactly what we're saying is the problem as well. But here's the alternative. We don't do it. And I don't think that makes us or the fans happy just to say, you know what, we can't do anything different than what we've done before. But what we can offer is another version of what we've done in the past and do a good version of it. Nobody says it has to be shitty, right? So write a good song. The riffs sound familiar, maybe. The vocals sound familiar. The chorus does what the chorus always does. But what's wrong with that? And what's so different about the next band that you're going to listen to that you put on in 2025?
Absolutely.
There has to be a history. There has to be some formula to what they're doing that's indicative of record making. So whether it's Def Leppard, Whitesnake, Harem Scarem, whoever, Bon Jovi, you could argue that Bon Jovi should stop making records because it's not as good as Slippery When Wet. But if you're a
Yeah.
Bon Jovi fan, that makes no sense. But you have to cut them some slack and say, you're not going to get Slippery When Wet again. That they're different human beings. We're different people, but we're also conscious of what we've done in the past and able to adapt and record and write new material that is a nod to that. So we can say this isn't the first record, it's not Mood Swings, but it's pretty damn close. And I got to think Pete probably plays and writes better parts than we did when we were young and confused about how to make a record. I can sing as good as I ever have. And I think we know the craft of songwriting better than we ever have. So this is us making a record without trying to literally repeat ourselves, where we're just trying to make a great version of our skill set and our history and put it all together.
No, I love that. And you're right. I mean, you could say that the Edge has a certain sound with U2. Or if he plays a note, you know what it is.
Yeah.
It might be familiar, but it is what it is. That is their sound. That's okay. I never get that criticism because as a fan of Harem Scarem, I loved the stuff. I said to you last time, I loved the stuff you're doing with for Signal. But I just think you and Pete together it's something. There's a certain formula there, a certain magic that just, when you two get so when the last time we spoke and, everything that you guys had gone through with, releasing the record and COVID happening and shows being shut down and all sorts,
Yeah.
And you were talking about the last project, the last time you were on with me, nothing in the pipeline. I went, nothing. But now, like with you and Pete back together, there's a certain familiarity and it's almost like my comfort food in music, if that makes sense.
Well, thank you. And look, I mean, that's again a realization for us too. You put Pete on a track and me singing on it. That's what Harem Scarem sounds like,
It's
right?
magic. Yeah, it's magic.
So that is what Harem Scarem is, and now it's about the song and that particular instrumentation and writing and the direction of it. So from a production standpoint, we've made our bed. We made it 35 years ago. So we know we're not going to make a country record. We're going to make a rock record. And if I'm singing it and Pete's playing guitar and we wrote it, it's going to sound a certain way. So, and I mean, the internet is quick. People with flippant remarks. I mean, 99% of the people are just love it, positive, love it, great, because they understand that. And I guess in some weird way, I'm speaking to the people that don't consider what we're up against making a record. You either go away or you quit, or you keep doing what people like about you.
Absolutely.
And I think we've just chosen to continue to do what people like about what we do. And if that makes any sense, that's what this record is. And I think if anything, we have perspective now that we can go back and say, what's worked? What hasn't worked? Let's do the things that work. So to me, it's as good, if not better, than it ever has been, because we're coming at it from that perspective, the history of what feedback we get from people and what works and what doesn't,
Yeah.
And so that's kind of our take on it in 2025, and it's a record full of that now. And I think, again, my personal opinion, that the strongest material is yet to be heard. This is just one thing that's on the record.
What's the lineup? Is it yourself, Pete? Is Darren involved this time? Who's in?
Yeah. Darren's actually singing a song on the record. We wrote a song. We're like, okay, I'll be honest here. Selfishly, going out and playing shows, we typically do like 20 songs a night. And I'm like, I don't want to sing 19 out of 20 songs. So I'm like, Darren, you're singing a fucking song on this record, because he's a great singer, lead singer quality. He sang Sentimental Boulevard.
I was going to say Sentimental Boulevard. That was his track. Yeah.
He sang that. And so we purposely went out of our way to get Darren to sing a song on this record. And it, again, I think one of the best on the record as far as songs go. And he killed it. He just sounds incredible. It's like a Sentimental Boulevard quality of what he did. And I think fans are going to love it. So yeah, there's probably 4 or 5 songs that are right up there with anything that we've ever done, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. What I love about Harem Scarem is there doesn't seem to be any egos in this band, and there never has been. It's kind of, for you, it's like, Darren wants to sing on a track. all good.
I
You know,
literally have to force them because again, it's just like, Pete and I are doing the writing and at that stage, he's a little bit out of the loop, if I'm being honest. So to bring him in and kind of teach him the song and this is how it goes or whatever, it's a little bit more work for everybody and a little bit confusing when the production's not fully realized or the song's not fully realized. So, but again, knowing what the outcome's going to be and having him on there, I think is a great asset. Because look, I've always been a fan of like Queen and bands with everybody can sing, and
Leopard have
that's
great backing vocals.
absolutely. It's always been a trademark for Harem Scarem is to have those voices all come together, and that's what you get at the end in the choruses. Darren's a huge part of that and part of the sound of Harem Scarem. So to not utilize it is just silly, and because we wear so many hats as producers, songwriters, guys in the band, it's not encroaching on anything that I do. I'm happy to, if Darren wanted to sing half the record, I'd be happy with that. And I think people would love it because he does a great job. It's just that when we're in the writing stage, a lot of the songs are written specifically for my vocal cadence and the way that I sing and the way that I do what I do. And so it's a little bit square peg round hole sometimes, but I know, obviously from working with Darren for 40 years, where his wheelhouse is and where he can really shine as a singer. And this song's perfect for him. And we recognized that before we got into the final stages, and we're like, okay, so he can do this. And selfishly, I get a break live.
No, I hear you. I know you like to look forward and not back. I don't want to go there. I've done that. I went through it all with you in the last interview, and you really indulged me, and I appreciated it. But I know you like to look forward and not back. But there's no way that I can have you. It's first time in 2 years. There's no way I can have you on a call and not mention the first record, which means a lot to me. Next year, 35 years since its release. Just some iconic music, hard to love, honestly, slowly slipping away with a little love. Is there anything in the pipeline to celebrate that milestone? Mood Swings Part 2 style.
Well, now that you mention it, I mean, we have to do something. I mean, we can't just let the anniversary come and go and not celebrate it, because it is, obviously our first record, and it's the first thing that most people heard from us that are still around today, following us and that are fans. So I think it holds a place in our fans' hearts and to us as well. I mean, from our perspective, it's like that's our first real record. So of course, a lot of those songs have meaning to us from that perspective. So yeah, I mean, hey, any ideas you have, let me know. Because we'll have to think of something. It's been released on vinyl a couple times by some other companies.
Yeah, that's right.
But I mean, I wouldn't mind putting together something. But we've done the acoustic tracks to death. We've done the bonus tracks. So it would be hard to think of something. A
full re-recording?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if people would like it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
See, you look at me and you'll go, well, of course you'd like it, Darren. You're a fan, but but there's so many. I don't know. I think to be a marker for that with your fan base, just to hear maybe even just an updated version of it or something. Even a couple of songs, you don't want not even the whole thing. Maybe just a re-release on vinyl with a couple of updated songs sang again in 2025 or 6 by you, Pete.
It could be. It could be. I don't mind that idea.
That'd be unbelievable. The image of the band as well. I see Pete, just a bit of fun. I see Pete has grown the hair out again.
Yes, yeah. We've joked that he looks like some sort of wizard now, some rock wizard. I love it. You know what? I've literally never had this conversation with him. It's just happened so slowly over the last 4 or 5 years that it's been gradual because I talk to him almost daily. So yeah, it wasn't really. Yeah. I guess now that you're mentioning it, it's been quite a change visually for him. But like I said, I see him every day, so it wasn't weird to me. Yeah,
he's like 1992 Harem Scarem Pete again. It's that kind of just grey now. I love it.
Yeah, he's got a beard and
he's gnarly now. I love it. So
he's looking a little homeless.
he's still one of the most underrated guitarists of all time, or one of the best in the world. So like he can do whatever the fuck he likes. Exactly. You guys all still look really cool. I love it. Last thing on the album, do you have a release date? I don't know if you said it earlier on.
April 25th, I'm being told.
April 25th.
April 25th is it, and I think we're playing on the 26th in Milan, and I think on the 25th we're in Portugal, and on the 24th we are in Spain, and then it just keeps going from there. London after Italy, I believe Germany, then Holland, Belgium, something like that, just off the top of my head. So.
Love it. Either way, I'm really excited, and I'll say what I said to you last time. On behalf of all Harem Scarem fans, thanks for everything you do. You guys do. Like, we love you guys, and just a new record coming for the first time 5 years. Just really exciting. So thanks for everything you do.
Thank you.
Harry Hess, thanks for your time.
All right. Talk soon.
We will